Well, I think it's first and foremost recognizing what part of you is attracted to a certain person.
Mm.
So it's like, wow, am I attracted to this man because he has a lot of money? Well,
Mm-hmm.
the reality is women's number one need is security.
Right.
So when I'm counseling men and they say, well, she just wants me to make more money, I said, of course she does.
Right. Right. Duh.
Yeah, we need security. That's why we
Mm-hmm.
operate in packs. You know, we have all
Mm-hmm.
the women that we can call at any given time. That's
Mm-hmm.
security. It
Right.
doesn't mean that we're weak. That's not a weakness.
Mm-mm.
That's like a quality that God has put in us. That's why we are so moldable and bendable, because we can turn ourselves into all kinds of contortions and different shapes and sizes to fit what people need.
That's true.
So we have to recognize that, wow, if I'm needing security and I'm knowing that a man, his greatest need is respect, then see, when I say to people that I work, a majority of my caseload is men, because I
Mm-hmm.
understand them, and
Right.
they are still respected by me. That doesn't mean I'm always nice to them.
Mm.
I say some things that they're like, wow, I can't believe you just said that. I'm like, yeah,
Wow. I
well, I did.
did. Mm-hmm.
I don't do that with women.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they need.
Right.
Men need these very concrete concepts, and then they will do them
Got you.
because they love to succeed. They love
Mm-hmm.
to make things happen. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I'm respecting my husband, that doesn't mean I'm in a one down position. It means
Right.
I live with a bear, a lion, a dinosaur. That's what I live with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
I'm glad because I don't want to be one of those.
Right. You don't want
So
to be the one.
I'm glad I've got a man that can go out and do all the things that are gross and ugly and yucky.
Mm-hmm.
He'll do all those things.
Right.
And he will put his life in the line for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I have him. And so one of
Right.
the ways that I help him feel really wanted, really respected, is I tell him how I feel. And I say, wow, I'm so glad I have you. I'm so glad I have someone in my life that can do those things for me.
Right.
Now, truly, in our world today, I've been single before. I can do a lot of things for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I say to women, this is not because I can't do it.
Right.
This is because if he does a lot of that stuff for me, I'm a lot nicer to live with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a happy
Right.
wife, happy life. That's
That
for
is
sure.
so true.
It's never going to go away.
That is so true.
But he lives for the smiles.
Mm-hmm.
And I remind women of that. I say,
Right.
all you do is soften your face, smile at them and say, thank you.
Thank you.
They will do
Mm-hmm.
anything for you
Right.
because that's how God made them. That's
Mm-hmm.
what God does for us. And I remind people, I say, it's very clear in the Bible, God is a man,
Mm-hmm.
not a girl in a God body.
Mm-hmm.
No, he has all the qualities of men and women. He has
Mm-hmm.
all the qualities of the earth, of the air, of this, universe,
Right.
because it's him. He's made it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's reminding myself that's not in a demeaning position. And I remind women, I say, you're not going to like when I say this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Women rule the world.
They do.
We just don't know it.
That is true, isn't
As
it?
we're trying to get feelings from a man that he cannot give us.
Amen.
And we set them up to fail.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is so true. Yep. Like you
So
said, trying to get something that,
that's right.
can't even be filled by them and only be filled by God.
That's right.
And us tapping into who we are, knowing ourselves and what we need.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It goes back to that. Oh my word. This is some powerful stuff. So before we get to these quick, fun questions, they just like some rapid fire questions. I would love for you to let the audience know about everything that you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. And how they can reach out to you. Yeah. How they can connect to you.
Well, what I mostly do is life coaching, relationship coaching. I work for sometimes I come into companies and help rearrange the tone of the company.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I really like working with families and marriages and individuals, helping them really to be the best version of themselves, of who God really made them to be, so that they're not trying to look around to get cues from the world, but they're
Gotcha.
finding, wow, who I really am and why God thought me up first. He thought me. I was a thought in God's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And, I want to make a Cinthia. right?
Mm.
And
Right.
when he was done, he was happy.
Mm.
What hurts his feelings the most is that I'm not happy with me.
Got you.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, a lot of this for women is because of the way that we're made, we are so malleable
Mm-hmm.
and turn ourselves into all kinds of things, whatever the situation needs.
Oh, for sure.
The men are not. They are
Mm-mm.
100%, they're just stable. They don't change who they are for something.
True.
And so, part of recognizing that is recognizing that that's not necessarily an arrogance.
Right.
It's a quality.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like my quality is to be able to practically do gymnastics with my heart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can put myself in all kinds of contortions if I think it's going to help someone that I love.
Right.
Men want to do the heavy lifting so that people are actually safe.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a good way of putting it. Wow.
So I just wish we didn't, have all this enmity,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that we need to go back and be all these traditional types of people, but some of the reasons that the world worked all the way up until this point
Right.
is there were some things that people just did that were natural to humans and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's always going to be evil in the world. That's
Right.
always going to be there. But we need to not keep trying to build a better mousetrap.
Got you. Yep. Just as human decency
Yes,
is
yes.
basically what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, think about how
Wow.
you feel. If you walk out, if you are driving and you need to get in and a
Mm-hmm.
driver lets you in,
Right.
it changes you immediately.
It does. You're
Straight,
absolutely
you
right.
don't even know the person and you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a tendency to want to do that for another person. So I
Yep.
say, if everyone's been mean to you today, don't wear their meanness.
Mm-hmm.
You go do the next right thing.
Exactly. That is so true. Yep. That is so true. Because then we take that meanness and then we take it and project it onto someone else when they wasn't even the ones who caused the wound or whatever in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like hatred, malice, arrogance, all those qualities, it's like a disease.
Mm-hmm. It
In fact,
is.
It's
It is
again,
so true.
if it gets in us, it infects us and changes us.
It sure does. And you right, that's a good way of putting it, like you said, it's like a disease. Because I know when I do a lot of my talks, I'll talk about how it's venom, once they
Mm,
get into that, how like when you get bit
right.
by a snake, the
That's right.
viper, you get the venom, and then you get bit by a viper in the
Yeah.
spiritual sense of the word,
Yeah.
and it's just a mixture of all of what you mentioned, the hatred, the malice,
Yeah.
envy, toxic jealousy,
Yes. Yes.
and it can just, like you said, it's just not good. It's like a disease that we just pass it on, unknowingly passing it on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep, unknowingly. So what are some parting words of wisdom that you would like to leave with the women who may be in toxic relationships or just found themselves getting out of there?
Well, first and foremost, I would recommend that for us as women, we stay away from anger as much as we can.
Okay.
And I don't mean that I don't get angry. I do get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I
Right.
get angry if animals are mistreated. I get angry if humans are mistreated.
Right.
I'm careful with the way that I express anger because women, and some women may be very upset with this, but one of the things that God did,
Mm-hmm.
the last thing he did was to create women, and women were the crowning glory of his entire creation.
Mm.
So when you think of the story of Adam and Eve, and the devil's in the garden, Eve is there, Adam is there, God is there, and the devil says to Eve, if you eat of this apple, you will know all things.
Mm.
Well, this is what women want to know. They think if they know everything, they can calm down and figure everything out and things will work.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's looking at it and giving it to Eve. And Eve looks at Adam, and Adam chooses Eve over God.
Mm.
This is how this all started. This is how powerful women are, that they do not understand this. We rule the world. The problem is we don't get the feelings that we want to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so men certainly are oppressive, especially if they're not respected.
Right.
doesn't mean I respect everything my husband does, but I
Right.
respect that I live with a man that is very different than me as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where my parting words for women is be careful with anger because it doesn't work on men.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, see, I can say to my husband with a relaxed face, I can say, I am so angry with you.
Mm-hmm.
I am beside myself.
Mm.
And my husband will be like, really?
Mm-hmm.
If I yell at him,
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to do anything.
Mm-mm.
He's just going to have more license to be an ass, actually.
Exactly.
If
And
I
when
can,
I could feel like the way you just said, like I am so angry with you, I'm just
yeah.
beside myself. I could still feel that you were angry.
Mhm.
And you
Yes,
told him that without you
that's
like
right.
just going
We're
crazy.
uneasy.
You know how we usually like
I know.
just
Yeah.
explode. Yeah.
Right. Right. So what I recommend to women do, and this has helped me tremendously, which is I know why I meet with so many men, because I can say things to them and their wives are like, I can't believe you said that to him. I can't believe he took it.
Mm-hmm.
And all to do with the delivery.
Mm.
And see, that man also knows I want him to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if women can understand that, I'm not saying it's a perfect solution, but for the most part, it works very, very well because then I don't have to change into somebody I don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be that woman. It doesn't,
Mm-mm.
it's a false sense of power. It doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it worked, God would have designed us that way.
Right.
So it's a man's responsibility. And I say this to men in my office, you have some culpability in why women are acting the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
You're not securing these women.
Mm.
So scared women are not pretty women.
That's true.
Angry women.
They're angry.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah. And so instead of dismissing their fears, you need to actually just say, I know you. Of course you would feel that way, honey. How can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
The things I'm afraid of my husband's, he doesn't worry about. He's not going to worry if he gained a pound.
Mm-hmm.
I might.
Right. Right.
So men have to recognize, hey, I've got a woman. I wanted a woman. I looked for a woman. I worked for a woman. I got a woman.
Mm. Yeah. It's
So
powerful.
yes, even the
Yes.
wild kingdom honors the gender.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. Got a few rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
Your favorite kitchen gadget?
I don't cook.
No? Okay.
Listen, everybody knows me. Nobody wants me cooking.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
There's
because
nothing wrong with that because it works
that's
for
me.
you.
Well,
Mhm.
because some of it's the ADHD, and I don't
Mhm.
attend always well unless something really interests me.
Okay.
So I can burn
got
things.
you.
It just, yeah. So if I had a great kitchen
Mhm.
gadget, it'd be the microwave.
All right. Hey, it
Yeah.
works. What about some songs on your playlist, your favorite songs?
Um. Hmm. I would have to say I like to listen to classical music a lot. I'm a pianist.
Mm.
So I love listening to classical music because it really changes our brain waves because it's
Mm.
the way that classical music is made.
Mhm.
It's like a perfect mathematical solution, and so
Wow.
it calms your brain down a lot because your brain,
Mm.
and it kind of gets in that groove, and then it helps you with your thinking.
Okay.
To not think because you know how it feels when you're all scattered in your head and you can't
Yeah.
figure out what you should be thinking about and you can't get rid of a thought and so it kind of orders things
And
because a lot
classical
of
music.
classical music is based on numbers.
Isn't that
So
something?
yeah.
That's powerful. Wow. What
So like
about three? Oh, go
Moonlight
ahead. I'm
Sonata,
sorry.
like Moonlight Sonata is my favorite. Like,
Oh, yes. Moonlight Sonata.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, my word. And then what about three books you feel like you can't live without?
Well, certainly the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to live without that. Any C.S. Lewis book, I would probably
Mm.
take them with me if the house were burning down.
Okay.
So most like I like to read things that help me understand a bigger world, a bigger cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to read things that help to make sense of the inner world of people and of myself.
Mm,
So I
gotcha.
don't generally read fiction.
Okay.
Sometimes I do because but usually it's because it's got some goal in mind,
Got you.
you know.
Okay. Wow. So now with the answers to those three questions, your favorite kitchen gadget being a microwave, classical music, right? Moonlight Sonata being your favorite. And then the Bible, C.S. Lewis books, and anything that's kind of helping to renew your mind. What
Yes.
do those answers to the above three questions say about you?
That I'm a deep thinker for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love God more than I can ever express as I've
Mm,
gotten to know him better. I
mm-hmm.
didn't always feel that way. And I care so deeply for people. I would do anything for free for them.
Got you.
I
Wow.
if I could help them have a life
Mm-hmm.
intended for them to have, that is really my life's goal, is that they be the person that God originally designed, and that
Oh, I've seen so much for me.